Forms of cyber reverse engineering. During my definition of cyber reverse engineering, I did state that there are many forms of cyber reverse engineering. So in this session, we will be identifying the various forms of cyber reverse engineering in the cyberspace. The first form of cyber reverse engineering is hardware reverse engineering. Hardware reverse engineering is a form of cyber reverse engineering that involves either the assembling, reassembling, or the disassembling of a hardware device to its manufacturing core. In other words, hardware reverse engineering is the reconstruction of a cyber hardware device. A hardware reverse engineering can be performed on all cyber devices, including mobile phones, laptops, television sets, cars, routers, walkie-talkies, CCTV cameras, printers, tablets, IoT devices, and all other cyber devices. The following are the various purposes for which a hardware reverse engineering could be conducted. One main purpose for which often a hardware reverse engineering is conducted is to aid in cyber forensic investigations. A hardware reverse engineering is of utmost importance in a cyber forensic investigation that involves damaged devices like a laptop, a mobile phone, a solid-state drive, desktops, walkie-talkies, printers, tablets, or data acquisition from a damaged hard drive. From an experience point of view, my ability to perform a hardware reverse engineering on an intentionally damaged mobile phone in order to reconstruct the damaged mobile phone for its data acquisition, which was very instrumental to the finalization of the cyber forensic investigation. For this reason, I urge you to acquire more practical hardware reverse engineering skills, technical know-how, and knowledge. As the lesson proceeds, I will be demonstrating a practical session of a hardware reverse engineering on a mobile phone, since this lesson is more practical than theory, so I urge you to stay tuned for more practicals. Another purpose for which a hardware reverse engineering could be conducted is for a cyber research purpose. A perfect example of a hardware reverse engineering being instrumental in a cyber research work is that of the cyber intelligence research work conducted by the United States Department of Defense on some of the Chinese manufactured devices, including Huawei devices that the United States security agencies were using. During this particular research, hardware reverse engineering was very instrumental to the research team in the disassembling and the reconstruction of some of the sample devices, which during the research process proved with evidence that most of the Chinese manufactured cyber devices often gathers data from each user to a remote server in China. Based on the findings of this cyber research work by the United States Department of Defense, which proved the theory of the US about the Chinese government gathering intelligence relating to security, telecommunication, health, and cyber intelligence through most of the Chinese manufactured devices, couldn't have been proven without the expertise and input of hardware reverse engineering. Networking reverse engineering is another form of cyber reverse engineering in the cyberspace. Network reverse engineering is the act of either extracting or the reconstruction of a network environment in order to understand its deductive functioning. Networking reverse engineering is sometimes referred to as protocol reversing. Let's take a look at some practical examples and some field applications of networking reverse engineering in the cyberspace. One practical application of networking reverse engineering is in the field of networking incident forensic investigation and in a network security research. A practical example of a network security research project that involved network reverse engineering is the network security research conducted by the Systematic Anti-Malware Company, which discovered the world's most sophisticated network malware attack, popularly referred to as Stuxnet by civilians. The last and the most popular form of cyber reverse engineering is software reverse engineering. Software reverse engineering is the most popular form of cyber reverse engineering because it's the most commonly performed reverse engineering in the cyberspace, since every component that forms a cyber system requires a software for its functionality and integration with a cyber system. Software reverse engineering is defined as the process of analyzing a software system either in a whole or in a part in order to extract its design and its implementation information. In other words, software reverse engineering is the act of disassembling a software to its core source code. In terms of its uses, software reverse engineering is often performed to either detect, determine, or to neutralize the functionality of a malware or a virus, and is also used as a form of security mechanism to protect the intellectual property of a cyber system. It's important to note that software obfuscation is not the same as software reverse engineering. So, as the class proceeds, we'll be learning the difference between software reverse engineering and software obfuscation. The next session is about the cyber skill set required to perform the various forms of cyber reverse engineering.